Film starts today at the theater. Michael Cook is here now to talk about Jungle Cruise and the Green Knight.
Let's start off with Jungle Cruise.
Okay.
This is a new movie with Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt. The basic plot line is Emily Blunt plays a scientist who has to go into the jungle to find what's called the Tree of Life, this tree that could heal all ailments and all illnesses. Dwayne Johnson plays a riverboat captain in this jungle, and Emily Blunt hires his character to help the journey deep into the deepest recesses of the jungle to find this mysterious tree of life. Along the way, Dwayne Johnson, of course, does, part of the Jungle Cruise thing. I've never been on the Jungle Cruise. This is based on the Disney ride attraction. Gives a lot of cheesy dad puns, which, you still end up laughing at times. There's another subplot where there are conquistadors who have been imprisoned by a curse who also need the Tree of Life. And then finally, Jesse Plemons plays the villain, a German aristocrat, also trying to get his hands on this mythical Tree of Life because everybody wants to get their hands on it because it could be everlasting life and no sickness. Who wouldn't want that? The characters Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson are just two fantastic, charismatic actors, and they play very well together. This movie, at times, though, you've kind of seen this movie before in terms of, there's a lot of throwbacks to Indiana Jones movies, to The Mummy, so you've kind of seen the plot before, but to me, it worked, and partly because of these two actors, along with a third, Jack Whitehall, who plays Emily Blunt's brother, and all three of them have great chemistry together, which makes it a fun movie. The third act gets a little bit too dark and gets a little lost, but all in all, I enjoyed this film, which is why I give it an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Okay, yeah. For kids?
It's PG-13, so
okay. Really?
A little darkness and some depth.
In the third act. I was thinking that before you said the Indiana Jones thing, guys, it just looks like Indiana Jones meets Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, that would be a good description, I think.
Okay.
Because Pirates of the Caribbean was also based on a Disney ride. So the next movie to talk about is called The Green Knight, also playing at theaters. It stars Dev Patel and Alicia Vikander. The basic plot is it's set in medieval times. It's based on a poem about King Arthur, which I had was not familiar with. There arrives on Christmas Day at King Arthur's court a Green Knight who has a challenge that I'll let any knight strike me one time, any way they see fit, but in 1 year, I get to return the blow in my faraway green chapel. Dev Patel takes up the challenge and chops off this Green Knight's head, but then what happens, he has 1 year he has to go back, because what happens is the Green Knight just picks up his head and walks out.
Wow.
So he has 1 year basically to live, and he must, to preserve his honor, go into the forest to meet this Green Knight and accept the challenge. This movie, it's very well made in terms of the visual effects. A lot of it very impressive. Although this is the kind of film that I think some critics will rave about, but to the average viewer, it might come across just too slow because it is kind of plotting, and there's a lot of thematic things. Exactly, exactly. And at times it felt like you were sitting there for a whole year waiting for the plot. It's funny, it's called The Green Knight, so you think there's swashbuckling and swordplay. No, almost no real of that. It's more of the story of contemplating of life and death and fate and honor. Some people might thoroughly enjoy, ruminating on these themes. Other folks might find it a little bit too slow. I did enjoy it with the caveat that it did come across a little bit too slow, and some of the themes were a little bit kind of hard to really pull out of it at times. But all in all, I give this movie a 7.5 out of 10. A still pretty enjoyable flick, but probably not for everybody because it does get a little slow at times.
Okay, I got to know. The Green Knight picks up his head. Does he reattach it?
He just walks out with it, carrying it out, and while it's talking, so he's like carrying his talking head with him. So clearly there's some magic involved, or a lot of amphetamines or some kind of drug.
He's got magic on his side.
Exactly.
All right, thanks, Michael.
Thank you.
All right, it's taken a lot of work to get the museum and Discovery back.